Welcome to this week's KBJ Weekly Pan-African News Roundup. Here we serve you with all the major news headlines from across Africa and the African diaspora. In the headlines, Angolan president wins elections. Emmanuel Macron visits Algeria. Nigeria bans the use of foreign voiceover artists for local advertisements and events. Angola's João Lourenço is set to remain president as his party maintained its lead in the country's most hotly contested elections in its democratic history. Results published by the country's Electoral Commission gave the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, MPLA, 51.07% of the votes, with more than 97% of ballots tallied. This is significantly lower than its previous performance, where it garnered 61%. The main opposition group, the National Union for Total Independence of Angola, UNITA, led by Alberto Costa Jr., stood at 44.05%, a huge jump from 26.67% in the 2017 elections. The leader of the winning party automatically ascends to the presidency in the oil-rich former Portuguese colony. Benin is transcribing its history through artistic work recently inaugurated by the head of state, Patrice Talon. Behind this monument is the poignant story of personalities who have marked their Beninois hegemony through their works as builders. These monuments today reveal what was a kingdom of Dahomey, which became Benin today. And if I speak first of the Amazons, it traces the history of the Amazons in the kingdom of Dahomey, how this elite crop was born, starting from Tasi Hangbe, the queen. Tourism expert Joel Kofi Akalugon said, Bio Guerra, the Amazon of the Obliski of the Divu, are now an integral part of the great whole that constitutes the national immovable cultural heritage of Benin in the city of Cotonou, the Benin capital. Today, these monuments, which are undoubtedly a transmitter of emotions, cause a revival of pride and patriotism within the Beninois population. Algeria has welcomed French President Emmanuel Macron for an official visit of 3 days. The French president was received on Thursday afternoon on the tarmac of the airport by his Algerian counterpart Abdelmajid Tebboune, to the sound of anthems of both countries played by a military band. No less than 90 people accompanied French president. Among them are 7 ministers, parliamentarians, leaders of major groups, and even sportsmen. The two heads of states visited the monument on Thursday to the martyrs of the country's war for independence, which ended more than 130 years of French colonial rule with Algeria's independence in 1962. This is the second time that the French president visits the country after 2017. But relations already haunted by the memory of colonization and war suffered a blow a year ago after Emmanuel Macron's criticism of Algerian power. The French president's main objective is to revive the bilateral relationship. Many observers believe that it is above all a question of Paris reconciling with Algiers, which is rapidly becoming essential for its gas, on which Europe is cruelly dependent for lack of Russian supply. Nigeria has banned foreign models and voice-over artists in local advertisement. The move is motivated by the federal government's interest in developing local talent, inclusive economic growth, and growing the West African country's advertising industry. The Advertising Regulation Council of Nigeria, ACON, issued its directive on Monday, August 22. Quote, all advertisements, advertising, and marketing communication materials targeted or exposed on the Nigerian advertising space are to use only Nigerian models and voice-over artists, the council stated. The order takes effect from October 1, and the Nigerian government has given a leeway for all ongoing campaigns to keep running until the end of that term. South African workers on Wednesday demonstrated against the country's rising cost of living, including record high fuel prices and increased cost of basic food. Around 1,000 workers marched to the union buildings, the seat of government in the capital, Pretoria, calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa's government to contain rising prices. South Africa's economy is still reeling from the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic, in which an estimated 2 million jobs were lost, exacerbating the country's 35% unemployment rate. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has also hit South Africa's economy, with the gas price reaching record high despite the government's suspension of an increase in the fuel levy earlier this year. Kenya's defeated presidential candidate Raila Odinga has filed an online petition to the country's top court, his lawyer told the media on Monday. He's challenging the result of the August 9th election that handed victory to his rival William Ruto. Odinga is a veteran politician who ran with the backing of the ruling party has rejected the outcome of the poll, branding it as travesty, after he narrowly lost to Ruto by around 230,000 votes on less than 2 percentage points. Daniel Manzo said it has already been sent to the courts and they will see it soon. He is part of Mr. Odinga's political legal team. School pupils in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province have been asked to wear traditional attire to school next Tuesday to celebrate the installment of the new Zulu king, Mrs. Kiswahili Zulu. The Provincial Educational Department on Wednesday issued a circular stating that August 30 would be a day for schools to celebrate and honor the new 48-year-old king. Quote, "It is in this regard that the MEC for Education in KwaZulu-Natal, Mbali Fraser, is dedicating Tuesday as a day for schools and the department to celebrate this historic event." Unquote. The MEC is also encouraging all teachers and all other employees to wear their traditional attire on Tuesday to celebrate this historic event. Hopes of seeing Nigerian-born British boxer Anthony Joshua regaining his lost heavyweight boxing titles against Ukrainian boxer Alexander Usyk has been dashed again. Last Saturday night in Saudi Arabia, Usyk defeated Joshua for the second time to defend his WBA Super IBF, WBO, and IBO World Heavyweight titles. Whilst Usyk clearly dominated the first fight against Joshua, it was a bit different in Saturday's rematch as the Nigerian-born fighter gave a better challenge, even though it was still not enough to earn him the win he badly craved for. At the end, Usyk did just enough to remain the undefeated champion. Nearly half of people in the war-torn Tigray region of Ethiopia are suffering from a severe lack of food, the World Food Programme has announced in its new report last Friday. Since November 2020, the region has been the center of a conflict between Tigray People's National Liberation Front, which is led by the country's previous government, and the current administration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. The fighting has plunged the region into a humanitarian crisis. The WFP found that 89% of the Tigray region's 6 million people lack consistent access to food, while 47% are deemed to be severely food insecure. Across the Tigray region, plus the neighboring Afar and Amhara regions, an estimated 13 million people need food aid. Quote, "Hunger has deepened, rates of malnutrition have skyrocketed, and the situation is set to worsen as people enter peak hunger season until this year's harvest in October," unquote, the report stated. It also found that half of pregnant and lactating mothers in the Tigray region are malnourished, as well as a third of children under 5, leading to stunting of maternal death. Renowned Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass has called on the British Museum to return the Rosetta Stone to Egypt, announcing last week that he has plans to send a petition signed by a group of Egyptian intellectuals to the European museums in October. The Rosetta Stone, a 2,200-year-old granodiorite stele inscribed with hieroglyphy, Greek, ancient Greek, and cursive Egyptian letters, was acquired by the British Museum in 1802 from France under the treaty signed during the Napoleonic Wars. Napoleon's troops apparently stumbled on the stone while building a fort near the town of Rashad or Rosetta. The stone, which led to archaeologists deciphering ancient hieroglyphy for the first time, is among British Museum's most notable artifacts. That will be all for this week's weekly Pan-African News Roundup on KBJ. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to stay updated. You can also follow us on all our social media handles. Thank you very much. It's bye for now.